Hey everyone, I'm Danny and welcome to Wizardry Workshop. In this video, we're going to be making Enchanted Snowballs from Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. And this is not anything that they had in the movies or the books. It's just something I thought of and I thought it would be really cool. So I designed the packaging and that's what we're doing today. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, I do a whole bunch of Harry Potter DIY projects here. I do a whole bunch of original designs as well that are very magical. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below to become part of our magical crafting community. If you get really into this, you can join Patreon as well, where I put a whole bunch of extra stuff you can download. If you're a designer, it helps a lot as well because I have my original Photoshop files over there and a whole bunch of other stuff. This is basically a gift box. You can put anything you want inside of it, but we're making the box today. You can download the free templates in the description box below. Down there, you're also going to find all the supplies that I use to make this DIY. Let's get started. To start this project, of course, you're going to want to print the template. This is my 11 by 17 sized version. There is also an 8.5 by 11 version where you would kind of join these two halves by a flap in the middle here. Other than that, it's exactly the same. And we do want to print this on cardstock, single-sided. If you want to get really fancy, you could have the opposite side like a solid color, or you could foil it or like buy cardstock that is foiled on one side. But for this video, I'm just going to use regular cardstock. On the template, you can see there is also a smaller template here. That just shows you where to cut around it, which is pretty self-explanatory. And then the red dotted line shows you where your folds should be. So I thought that would be a little bit helpful, kind of like a little guide you can cut out and follow. We're going to be cutting this out in this video with a ruler and X-Acto knife, but you can use whatever means you want to cut the white space out off from around this template. There is also a Cricut cutting guide. However, I could not get this W here to cut exactly where I wanted it to. It was either a little off this way or a little off that way. So, I just decided to do this by hand to make sure that looks exactly how I want it to. So using a ruler and X-Acto knife, I'm just going to line it up with some of these straight edges here, and then we're going to follow along with an X-Acto knife. And then I'll go to the next straight lines, which is these two flaps right here. And then we're going to cut this straight line. And then we can flip it around, and then we're going to cut these two straight lines here. Next, we can cut this line right here, but only cut it up close to that W, where that W starts, and then stop. So we'll cut from here over to where that W starts. And then we're going to go to the other side of the W and cut down to where this edge starts. Next, we're going to do this straight line. From here, I'll just turn my template around and start with all these other straight lines across here. And now we can go in with our scissors, and what we want to do is cut off a bunch of this white excess paper here. I'm just going to cut this piece off, and then I'm going to cut around this piece, and then I'll save that little template so that I can kind of reference that as I'm doing my folds. And then we can go in and do some of the other little cuts. And then you should just be left with this. And as for this W, I am going to cut this out as precisely as I can with my scissors. And if you just go slow and carefully, you are going to be just fine. And as for this last triangle here, I'm going to use my ruler and X-Acto knife. The next thing we want to do is our score lines, or you could just fold it. But I'm going to do scoring lines with my Cricut scoring tool. And we're going to score all the lines based on this template where the red dotted line is. And now we're almost there. But as you can see on this template, there are a few more cuts to make. There's a little cut to make right here to make this into a flap, and then there's just a tiny little cut in on each side of this score line. So now if we take the template and take a look at that, it's just right here, right into where that edge of the B starts, right there, and then just a little tiny snip in. Next, we make our folds, and that's going to be where all those score lines we just made are. But the scoring is going to really help make this box a very, not perfect square, but it's going to be very close to perfect. Now we want to put some tape or glue right here on this side flap here. And I'm going to use this score tape. You could use double-sided tape or whatever glue you want. I probably wouldn't use hot glue because it's too thick, but yeah, just a thin strip of tape or glue would work. Score tape is great because you can put it just where you want it, and then you can just peel that protective backing off when you're ready to actually attach it. We're just going to line it up with this edge right here and tape it down, get it as close to perfect as you can so that we have a nice shape of a square when we're done. We should be here. Now we can fold this bottom part up. And the bottom part doesn't require any type of glue at all. We can just fold this part in first, and then these two flaps go over the top, and then you can sort of pop them underneath like that. And then this piece folds right in just like that. And that is the bottom of our box. Right here's the top, and it should close pretty easily, just like this. When you're done, this is what you should have. The Enchanted Snowballs box from Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. You can put anything you want in this. This is like a Christmas gift box. I wanted to kind of stay on theme with snowballs, so I got these Lindor white chocolate truffles. So they're going to look like little snowballs. They are in gold foiled wrapping, but I'm fine with that. They're just, when they come out, they're little white balls of chocolate. I do try to shop very ethically with my chocolate because there's just some really horrible things that happen in the chocolate industry. And if you are interested in learning more about that, you can Google it, or I talk about it quite a bit in my Honeydukes chocolate bars DIY video. So if you want to see what my thoughts on that, you can watch that video. Otherwise, I would really, really encourage you guys to learn more about all the horrible practices that go into like the chocolate industry. I really love these Lindor chocolates, and from what I could find online, just reading about them, they are doing ethical practices and like tracing where their chocolate is coming from. So that's really what is important. If I'm wrong about this company, let me know, because I love their chocolates, but I will stop buying their chocolates if I find out that there's any unethical things going on. Anyways, let's open this up. And there we go. Now it is a box full of chocolates ready for Christmas time, whatever you want to do. You could even put like ribbon around this and a bow on top if you want. I think that would look really nice. And then when they're done eating their chocolates, they can keep the box and put it up on their shelves if they're a Harry Potter collector. Now let's have one of these. Let me know what you guys think of this DIY, of this packaging. This is an original design by me. It is not a movie replica. I just thought it would be nice to have Enchanted Snowballs for Christmas from the Weasley twins. This will probably be my last DIY until after New Year's, so I hope everybody has happy holidays. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.